You've hit that feck it no more moment. It's done, it's over, there's only one problem. You're not quite sure what it is you want to do next. If that's you, this episode's for you.
Failure is like everything else in life, it's just between
Never fail.
I need to know to get to where I want to go.
Gary sent us a comment the other day on YouTube, and it went along the lines of, it seems like you had a good solid idea what you wanted to do and a plan in place whenever you had your feck it no more moment. What about the rest of us that don't have a clear plan on how we want to use our energy moving forward? That is such a powerful question, and one that we're going to dive into today. Look, as you've heard me say now many times, that feck it no more moment is that moment whenever we decide things must change. But in reality, a lot of us don't know what that is. I had that moment a long time building up before I heard about my friend's situation, and I had to then reanalyze and say, hey, look, instead of waiting another 10 years to change this, I'm going to do it in the next few months. But the idea was there a lot longer. So if you're out there, you've hit that feck it no more moment, things must change. It's okay not to have the answer. It's okay not to know what you want to do next. The most important thing to realize at that point is that things can't stay the same. Then it is about putting a plan in place. So you've hit that point, you have no idea what comes next. You don't know what to do, but you know you're sick of what you're doing. You're absolutely fed up with this aspect of my life. That's whenever you now start to think, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to be spend my time, my energy on, my resources on, my finances on? For me, I believe that time is my most precious asset. What I do with my time is very important. Now, that wasn't always the case. Whenever I was younger, just had a new baby, just after the age of 20, my most important priority at that time was finances, to make sure that I had enough money to support my family, to create a good life for them. That was my priority at that stage. So looking back, while it's easy to say now time is my most important priority, that wasn't always the case. So for you, what you need to figure out is, what is your most important priority in your life now? Now, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of the Maslow's hierarchy, or sometimes like Tony Robbins and other gurus out there will talk about the needs that every person needs to have. And I'll just run through a few of them so it gives you an understanding that these are the things that are important to most people. Most people need these things. Most people need certainty in their life, to feel that they're stable. They're certain that they're going to be safe. And that really comes down to avoiding pain, knowing that nothing's going to hurt me here. Now, that is built into us, as the rest of these are. The next one seems a little bit of a paradox, after we've just said you need certainty. But we also need variety, or even uncertainty. Because you see, if anything gets too certain, we get bored in life. We need surprise, change, new challenges to keep us feeling like we are moving forward. The next one is significance. We need to feel like we are making a difference somewhere along the lines, whether it's to our family, whether it's to our community, whether it's to people around us, whether it's our job. But most of us need to feel that significance in some form or other. Connection and love, whether we like to face it or not, everybody needs to feel that they're close to somebody. And this might relate to the significance one earlier, but we need to feel like we have that connection, whether that's one-to-one with a loved one, whether that's one-to-many with our families, whether it's one to even lots more, not a great way to put that, whether it's one to like a wider community, but we need to feel that love, that connection. Now, they're very similar to the first 5 of Maslow's hierarchy, which talks about psychological needs, safety needs, belonging needs, esteem and self-actualization. If you look back through lots of growth things, these usually keep coming up. Now, Tony Robinson goes on to talk about the extra couple, growth, feel like you're growing as a person, feel like you're evolving, feel like you're improving. And it aligns with the universal law, which a lot of people believe everything in the universe is either growing or it's dying. There's no in between. So if we don't feel like we're progressing and we're growing and we're improving, then we feel like we are slowly dying. And then the last one is the contribution. And this is maybe the stage that I have got to in my life, where I felt like there was more to me. I felt like I had grown a lot. I'm still growing. I'm still on a journey. I still want to improve. I still want to create a better life for myself. But I have got a lot of the security. I've got the love. I've got the unpredictability. So the next evolution, I guess, for me was, how do I give back more? How do I contribute more? Hence, this podcast to help others who are really going through the early stages of their journey. So just being able to stop and ask yourself, which of these is most important in my life right now? Is it the certainty that I'm going to have a roof over my head? Is it the growth that you're looking for? Maybe you've been in your job too long. It's kind of went stale. You know there's something else out there that can fulfill you, that can tick them boxes that we've just talked about. Maybe it gives you more of that significance. Maybe you're looking to go to that next level in your career. Maybe it's love and connection. Maybe you genuinely don't have that love and connection in your life for whatever reason. I spoke with a person just the other day, due to his upbringing, due to the way that his parents were, he felt like he couldn't love people. He couldn't trust people. And he was unhappy and he was miserable. And it was something that he was prepared to say, feck it, no more. I can't let my past thoughts sabotage what I want in the future. Maybe it's that you want to do more for other people. Maybe you want to contribute. Maybe you want to get involved and help others get to where they are. But just, I suppose, allowing yourself to take a moment to step back from the chaos that we're currently in. Or maybe it's not chaos. Maybe it's totally the opposite. Maybe we're sitting there feeling that I don't know what to do. I've just got all this time on my hands now for whatever reason. But allow yourself to take a moment and go, what do I want my life to look like? I often go through an exercise with people I work with on a regular basis. And I say, imagine you could create a life in 10 years' time. The perfect life. The life that had everything in it. And it probably has them needs that we just talked about. But imagine that life in 10 years' time. Now, for some people, that'll be big houses, fancy cars, lots of money in the bank, lots of businesses. For other people, that'll be lots of children, nice family, healthy, happy. So it'll be different for every people, that perfect life in 10 years' time. What you're doing as a career, how fulfilled you're feeling, the money that you're making. I'm trying to imagine all them things 10 years from now. And once you do that, realize then that, okay, if that's what I want my life to look like, then I need to start working towards that. And I heard this put a long time ago because I used to spend a lot of time setting yearly goals. I want to achieve it. Sometimes not even yearly goals, sometimes 6 months goals. I want to run a marathon in 6 months. I want to achieve this next year. I want to make sure I do this before 12 months' time. But I never really thought about that bigger picture of what I wanted my life to look like in 10 years' time. And I heard it explained to me, well, like, Glenn, that's a bit like getting in a car and just going for a drive without any maps, any sat-nav. You're just getting in the car and you're going for a drive. Now, you might be hoping that you get to where you want to go. However, if you have a version in your head of what your life looks like in 10 years' time, and then you get into that car and you go, well, that's where I'm going to. These are the stops along the way I need to make. And I usually kind of encourage people to think, okay, you've got 10 years, now 5 years, now 3 years, now 1 year. They're good stops along that journey to help you get to where you want to go. And that doesn't mean you'll be able to achieve everything in that perfect life. But what it does mean is you'll probably achieve a lot more than if you've never put a plan in place at all, or you've never thought about what that is. So you need to allow yourself that breathing space to do this. Now, I know how hard this is to do. One, because I had to go through that journey myself. Whenever I was walking away from my old job, it was like, okay, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years' time? What's important to have in my life in 10 years' time? One, it was, I know I want more free time. I want more flexibility in my life. I'm still a hard worker. I'll always put in a solid day's work. I know that. I'm committed to anything I want to do. I want to succeed. I want to be the best that I can be at whatever I'm doing. But I want a little bit more flexibility in it. I want to create something that's special and that helps other people. I want to be able to help people get from where they are to where they want to be, because I know the impact that had on my life. I want to be able to do it from anywhere I choose. If I choose this month, I want to be in Perth, Australia. Next month, I want to be in Ireland. The month after, I want to be in New York. It doesn't matter, but I can choose. It's flexible. So that was another thing that I wanted my life to look like. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't have the fancy cars, and I didn't have the boats, and I didn't have the thing, because that's not what drives me. However, I'm open-minded enough to go, do you know what? If I make enough money and I'm secure and I'm happy, then that's okay. But happiness was a big thing I put in my life, because I knew I wasn't happy for the last few years of doing what I was doing. It was a grind. It didn't fulfill me. It felt like it probably went against a lot of my values. So I had to then go, okay, well, if happiness is important to me, and I encourage everybody listening to this, everybody watching this, happiness, contentment, whenever we talk to most people, and most people at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want happiness. They want contentment. Now, that happiness will look different for everybody, but that's what everybody is searching for. Scratch that. That's what majority of people are searching for, whether they know it or not. So you have to include what's going to make you happy in whatever you do going forward. You've just had the feck it no more moment. You've just had that point where you go, I can't keep doing this because it's making me miserable, it's making me unhappy, it's making me unhealthy, whatever the case. So now we have to put in place happiness into that 10 longer term vision. I don't even want to put it down to the years that you have to do, but have a vision for what your life looks like way out. And then bring it into a lot closer and go, this is what I need to be doing now to get me to move closer than this. This is where I want to spend my energy. And I really like the way Gary put it. How do I spend my energy? He didn't say, how do I spend my time? He didn't say, how do I spend my finances and what do I work towards? How do I create more money? It was his energy that he was concerned about. And I do believe that the time and the energy, as I said before, is the most important thing to us. We've got a limited amount of time, and we're all balls of energy, so we've got a limited amount of energy as well. So ask yourself now, let's take a moment during this podcast. Why not? Let's do it. Let's just imagine yourself to stop and think. And if you're driving, don't stop in the middle of the freeway. But if you're somewhere secure, if you're not running, if you're not in the gym, if you're not doing something with activity behind it, just allow yourself to close your eyes and imagine that life that I want to create, that dream life, that perfect life, whichever title you want to put on it, with everything in it. Try and imagine the house, the people that surround you, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, how happy and fulfilled you're feeling, how content you are with everything. I would make sure you're definitely adding that. But now, whenever you've got that vision, go, okay, that's what, say, 10 or plus years look like. Now, what does 5 years look like? And then allow yourself to really go in a little bit more detail in 5 years. And then allow yourself to go into a little bit more detail in 3 years. And this is where it starts getting scary for everybody. Now you're just going to go into detail for the next year. And as I said earlier, I know how hard and I know how challenging this can be, because I've had myself struggle with it. But I've also seen clients whenever I say, hey, look, before we catch up again in 2 weeks' time, let's come back to me and really have a look at what that 10-year plan looks like, what that 5-year, what that 2-year, what that 1 year looks like. And quite often, I'd say maybe about 80% of the time, people come back and they're not able to visualize it. So we have to spend the next catch up kind of working through it together. So I know how difficult this is. I'm not underestimating that. However, I had a really good conversation with somebody about 6 months ago now. We had worked together for about maybe 3 months a year earlier. Same deal. He was unsure what he wanted his life to look like. We talked about the things that he wanted on his life. Career progression was one of them. Meet a nice person, have a family, continue his fitness journey in the ultra space. And he came back and he had said, hey, Glenn, do you know that plan that we did for the life, the perfect life? He says, well, I'm just over a year into it and I've already hit my 5-year goals. What should I be doing next? I said we should be creating more goals for beyond. So the timeline might look different for everybody, but he was totally fulfilled because he was able to identify everything that we talked about nearly 8 months earlier. He had completed already. He had ticked the box because he was now focusing on it. It's a bit like the red car theory. And for anybody that doesn't know the red car theory, whenever you start thinking about red cars, you go, oh, that's a nice car, I'd like to buy that. Or regardless of the colour, you start seeing them cars all over the place. So that's the red car theory. As soon as we start thinking about something, we start seeing it more and more openly out there. And that's the power behind thinking about that perfect life that you want to create, that wants to fulfill. Now, I'm not saying that you'll have a vision of that life and in 3 years' time you don't want to upgrade it and go, actually, that might be better, and you can change it now. It's not a fixed destination. Life is a journey. It's about going from where we are and enjoying the journey as going through. For too long, I thought of it as it's something I have to achieve. I have to prove myself. I have to gain things. I have to support my family. I have to have the finances. I have to have a secure job. I have to have a house. I have to have a nice car. I have to keep up with the Joneses. So I thought life was very much about things that I needed to have or achieve, rather than thinking of life as a journey, something that nobody's getting out of a life. And instead of waiting to think we'll be happy or we'll be content whenever we achieve that next thing, that thing we're looking for, instead of waiting till then. So now I've really started to enjoy that journey from right now. Whenever I made the decision to go feck it no more, one of my main reasons behind it was because I was unhappy. Not with my life, but with an aspect of my life. I loved my kids and my family and my wife to pieces. I was over the moon with everything in that space. I loved where I lived in Perth, Australia, sun shining majority of the time. But I hated the fact that I worked 13 or 14 or 15 hours a day and didn't get to enjoy that. So it was the aspect of my life that I wasn't happy with. It wasn't my life. So I want you to make sure that for me, whenever I decided that's the moment that things change, that's the line in the sand, I was like, I want more happiness in my life. Now, I was spending a lot of time at work. Too much time, maybe, looking back at it. However, I wasn't enjoying it. So if I'm spending majority of my time doing something I don't enjoy, that's where the unhappiness comes from. So I hadn't changed my whole life. I just had to change that element of my life. Now, for you, that may be something different. You may be unhappy with your body, your fitness levels, your health. You may be unhappy with your finances. Whatever that is for you, figure out what that is and how do I change it? What do I want it to look like in the future? But don't wait until the future. As soon as I made the decision I wanted to be more happy, I had to look at the aspects of my life that wasn't making me happy. I had to actually do a little bit of research into how to be more happier. Now, if this is one for you, when maybe it's something you're struggling with, for me, whenever I researched it, I found gratitude. Adding more gratitude in my life and being grateful for the things that I have really helped increase my happiness level. So I had to do the research. And again, this is an important step. Don't just think about what you want to achieve. Don't just think about what your life looks like. You have to take the action. You have to go, what do I need to do? That's the knowledge part of it. That's where I want to go, knowledge. How do I get there? Knowledge. But unless you get in the car and you start driving, you're not going to get there. That's the action part. So do the research. If it's how do I become more financially free? How do I increase my value? How do I increase my wealth? Do the research into that. We've got all the tools at our fingertips that we need to achieve these things. Another really good way to do it is to put yourself around people that have done it before. People that have achieved that financial freedom. People that have achieved that fitness and that healthy lifestyle. People that have been able to get themselves out of jobs they hated to things that they really enjoy. Find that community. Hopefully it's with us. Hopefully you stay. Hopefully you hit the follow button. Hopefully you subscribe on YouTube. But find that community where you can really feel part of, that is helping you move in the direction that you want to. Glenn, what do I do if I just have no idea what that 10-year looks like? What my life looks like further down the line? I have no idea. Try different things. Find out what you enjoy doing. Find out how you enjoy spending your time. Find out what you enjoy learning, what you enjoy listening to. Because it's okay to change. This is the most important part. It's okay to change as long as we're still ticking them boxes that's important to us. So maybe even starting with a priority list, like I did. I suppose now looking back at it, it's just at a light bulb moment. I looked, okay, what am I happy with in my life? I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with the car I have. I'm happy with the house I have. I'm happy where I live. But I really hate this job. And sorry, hate's a strong word. I didn't hate the job. I just didn't feel like it was fulfilling me enough. I liked the company and I liked the people. So I had a priorities list that was important to me. That I had, okay, this is what's working. This isn't what's working in my life. Fitness, my health was okay too. So again, it was a case of then going, okay, I don't need to blow up everything. I just need to change this aspect of my life. Now, at the end of the day, if I had started the coaching and development company where I'm working with businesses, I'm working with leaders, I'm working with individuals to help them get to where they wanted to be. If I had started that and I really hadn't enjoyed it, I wasn't getting maybe that significance from it. Maybe I wasn't getting that contribution from it. But maybe I just wasn't enjoying that. I would have went, okay, what's next? What am I going to try next? Because my end goal is still to be happy, content, add value to other people. That's still my end goal. So that could look in different shapes, forms and sizes. So again, if you're out there, if you're listening to this, you've just had that feck it no more moment, that line in the sand. I can't keep doing this in this aspect of my life. Then it's okay to not know where you want to go. If you do know where you want to go, even better. Let's get the action in place and get it happening. But if you don't know what you want to do, don't be frightened to try things out. Experiment. What usually makes you happy right now? For me, if you can find the passion, the happiness, the contentment in what you do, it's not going to feel like work. I don't feel like I'm working anymore. I spend a lot of time doing what I do, but it's something that I enjoy now, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, and it's something I feel like I probably should have been doing years ago. So try out little things to understand where you want to go, because even just my career, now that I think about it, I started off as a bricklayer. I did landscape gardening, I did construction, I did roadworks, I did oil and gas, I did mining, and now I'm doing this. So there's been a lot of evolution, a lot of things that I tried and was like, yeah, it's good, but nah, it's maybe not the one. So don't feel like you're under pressure to find that one thing that lights you up. But remember, you can choose to be happy along that journey. That's a choice. That happiness, I now know, is a bit like a skill. It's like any other skill that we have. And yes, there will be times in our lives where we can't be happy because things went wrong. And we will be facing something that is hard, difficult, and is not something to be happy about. I've gone through many of them as well. However, you know that once you get through the other side of that happiness is an important part of that. So I would just add, and this is hard to say, this is difficult probably to hear too, especially if you're going through that really hard moment at this stage where it's, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep making the same mistakes. I can't keep falling back into the same habits. I need you to understand nobody's coming to save you. Ain't nobody going to help you do this other than you. Certainly there'll be people out there that will help once you've made the decision that I'm doing this and I'm on board with this, and there'll be people that will be able to give you advice. But ultimately, if the vision, the action is the most important step, there are things that you have to be able to do. So I encourage you to take that ownership of where you are now. If I had just listened to the people around me, to the bosses that I was working with, they wanted me to stay in the company. If I had listened to other people who thought, Glenn, you're crazy giving up that good job, I wouldn't have been able to make that transition. So yes, it's on you. It's on you to make sure that you can change and get you to where you want to go. So I really want to give you the best value possible. I I really encourage you to stop, allow yourself to think, allow yourself to understand what it is you're after, to take the action, and don't feel like you have to do it all at once. Break it down into small, manageable steps. But try to commit by the end of this episode to 2 things that you can take action on right now that is going to help improve your situation, to get you closer to where you want to go. What are them 2 steps for you? Now, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody that has supported the channel so far. The messages of support, the phone calls to say they're really enjoying the episodes. I really appreciate everyone. And to everybody that has hit the like button, the follow button, the subscribe button, who is supporting the channel that way, again, thank you. To the people that have offered to come on to tell their stories, I'm super excited to be able to share them stories with our listeners, to bring their Feck It No More moments to you. And as always, I want to give a shout out. If you're there, maybe you are struggling still. Maybe you just need that little bit of a chat, that conversation to help you get to where you can see that vision. You understand the action that you want to take, the things that must change. I'm a fairly friendly guy. Our audience are really great people. So be open to sending that email, sending that voice message, sending that text message, just to tell us a little bit about your story and say, hey, I am very much open telling my story, getting the support, and being able to share it with other people so they can learn from it. That would be really awesome too. And it's simple. It's really, really simple. All you do is you click that link that says book time with Glenn. We hop on, we have a 15-minute call about where you currently are, maybe what's the challenges, where you would like to go. Are you open to coming on air? Are you open to sharing your details? Do you want to be private and have your details hidden but still share your story? It's that simple. And it's over in about 15 minutes. And you're in total control. So again, thank you to everybody that has made it this far. So just a quick recap before I let you go. 1, it's okay not to know what comes next. 2, the clarity sometimes comes from just allowing yourself to think, but also to try new things. And 3rd, I want you to remember that you're your own hero. You're the person that can make the massive impact in your life. And of course, 4 and lastly, you're not alone. This community is here to support, help, guide. I'd love to know what stood out for you in this episode. Maybe what action you're going to take, or what's that vision. I'd also love to hear if you've any other ideas, what you would like to hear about on these episodes. And again, a massive shout out to Gary for this question in this episode. Gary, hopefully it has shed some light on what you wanted to hear. If you do feel that you know somebody that might be able to get something from this episode or any of our other episodes, please consider sharing it with them. It does really show them that you care enough, that you took the time to say, hey, look, this may help. Because what we know is it can only take one little thing to show somebody that we really care, to get them started on their journey to get to a better place and to say, feck it, no more. And now for the legal part. I'm not a registered mental health professional. I'm just some guy who has gone through life, that's dealt with a lot of issues, and that has really wanted to move his life from where it was to where he wanted to go. And along that journey, with my own personal development, with my own growth, I've done a lot of research and studying into what it takes to get us to a better place, what it took to get me to a better place. I've also done a certificate in results coaching where that qualifies me to coach other people in terms of improving their lives. But I want to stress, regardless of whether you go to a mental health professional or whether you go and talk to a friend down the road or whether you reach out to the Feck It No More team, the onus is definitely on you to help improve your life. And I want to thank you for showing up today, for listening, for getting involved. That shows that you care about your growth and your development and getting you to a better place. And I really appreciate the time that you have taken to reach out. So until the next time, I'll be waiting. I'll be available to help, support, as I know majority of our community will be too. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for you showing up.